Welcome back to Sonic High School's Sports Blast.
Thanks for coming back. Former Memphis Tiger legend Russell Copeland went on to play in the NFL with the Bills, Packers, and Eagles. Local 24 sports director Doc Holliday sat down with Copeland to talk advice, guidance, and direction for young athletes.
Joining me today is my good friend, former Memphis Tiger legend, NFL receiver, played in the Super Bowl, right, with Buffalo Bills?
Yeah, Super Bowl 28.
6-year NFL veteran, my man, Russell Copeland. First of all, Russell, thanks for joining me, man.
Thanks for having me.
Now, Russ, I got you here, man, because the purpose of these interviews, man, is to talk to the young people, to let them know what they have to do and what they need to do to achieve their goals and also stay on the right path. So first of all, how did you get where you are now, and how did you accomplish the things that you accomplished, getting major college scholarship offers and to make it to the NFL and also to play in the Super Bowl? How did you make that happen?
I think first and foremost, you have to believe in yourself. I think you have to have confidence in yourself, and you have to believe in that. And you have to have dedication, and you have to have hard work. I think, but most importantly, you have to surround yourself around the right people. You have to surround yourself with the right friends. I think so many times today we use the word friend, so easily. I think we will have a lot of people that are associates, but surround yourself with the right people and doing the right thing.
Now, speaking of that, and doing the right thing and staying on the right path, man, how important is it for these young Royals, man, when they're playing sports, especially if they're a star or not stars, man, just making the right decisions and setting a good foundation? Because I know how important it is to get an education and be around people that's trying to achieve and do the same things that you're trying to achieve, which are positive things. How important was it for you to keep a tight circle of guys who are trying to do the right thing, man, and live the right way and make great decisions?
It was very important, especially coming from where I came from, coming from Tupelo, being not in the suburbs, and I had some personal tragedy. My mom had been incarcerated early on, so I kind of learned from that, but I just wanted to make sure that I could get out of the situation that I was in, and that was to better myself. And to better myself, I had to get the classroom first and foremost. And I think for young kids out, especially athletes, I think we have to learn how to balance playing sports and also academics, and I think we need to be able to excel in both of those areas.
Now, what you just said, man, overcoming a tragedy with your mom being incarcerated, there's a lot of young athletes and a lot of young people from tough situations, tough circumstances, and a lot of times they don't have anything to do with the circumstances they're placed in. What would you tell them in order to, overcome that? Because I know a lot of times depression comes with that, man. I'm pretty sure you were depressed and down, especially as a young person, not having your mom there, just overcoming all of that and, maybe forms of poverty, man. What would you tell these young people in order to make it through those kind of situations?
I think you have to believe within oneself. I think you have to honestly believe in what you can do, and I think it's very important to be able to speak to a father, to speak to a grandmother, to speak to a family member that we trust. And also for me, I had to go to the religious side of it, and I had to speak to, as I say, a higher being, and I had to speak to some pastors, and I had to speak with some preachers, and I looked at that, and I looked at that situation, and I said, okay, this is a situation where I'm coming from, but there's only one way for me to better that, and that's not to sit back and sulk, that's not to sit back and cry, but that's to stand up, and now I had to fight for what I believed in, and I went on to school, got great grades, had scholarship offers from all over. And when I came here to Memphis on my recruiting trip, I loved it. I felt at home. I felt embraced. And my mom was incarcerated in Mississippi, so it just felt at home because I wasn't that close from Mississippi, being in Tennessee. So I made all of that, come true. Came to school, got my grades there, and fortunate enough, I was able to play 6 years in the National Football League.
Now, talking about that, man, because a lot of young people watching, whether they're football players, basketball players, they want to make it to the NFL, make it to the NBA, pro sports. Talk about the dedication and the focus and the perseverance needed in order to make it on that higher level. Because I made it, didn't play nearly as long as you. You were there. Not only did you go, you were effective playing for a great Buffalo Bills team. They went to so many Super Bowls, and you playing in a Super Bowl, man. Just talk about the steps needed and all these positive qualities and traits that you have to have in order to make it to that high level.
I think when you come from high school and then you get to college, I think that step is even bigger. The game is faster, there's more competitive, the athletes are bigger and faster. But when you make it to the next level, it's even harder than that. It's almost as if you have every team that are all Americans on every team. So now this is your job, this is your dedication, and it's not just like a sport as if you're playing in college. This is your job, and you have to come out, you have to work out every day, you have to run every day, you have to look at films every day, you have to watch what you eat. You have to put the right things in your body. And as we alluded to before, the crowd, the people that you hang around, and I'll say it again, using the word friend, I think we have to look at associates compared to friends, because as your popularity grows, as you become more popular and you get successful, then there's a lot of people that will start to hang. And now you have to be able to separate that, because it only takes 1 second to get into trouble, but it could take a lifetime to get out of it. And unfortunately, it can cost you your life.
And also on that, man, because like I said, everybody want to play pro sports. They want to make it. Just talk about some of the pitfalls that maybe we can help them avoid, because I tell people all the time, man, my ego used to get me in a lot of trouble. And I say right now, ego doesn't know anything. Ego gets you in trouble. Ego tells you how your life is supposed to go, what's supposed to happen, what you're supposed to have. And you're not following God when you're following ego, man. How important has it been for you, and still is, to tell the ego, man, just to shut up, man, and trust God's process?
Not only the ego, but I think we have to stay humble. And I think that's on the same parallels. I think we have to stay humble. I think we still have to be dedicated, and we still have to be hungry. And no matter how high we get or how low we get, we still have to have a medium parameter on that and continue to stay on that path and just continue to work hard and continue to focus. And I think that's the most important.
But it's easy to tell these young people, athletes, man, when everybody's giving them the world, everybody's kissing their butt, they don't have to go to class. And I tell people all the time, if you're in a high school and your teacher's not pushing you to go to class, or your coach is not teaching you to coach and to work hard, man, they don't really have your best interests at hand. So what do you say to these young folks? Because I know I've been there, man. You know, that everybody's giving you the world, man. To stay focused and say, look, you're not better than everybody else, and this can be taken from you. You got to stay hungry.
Before you become a Russell Copeland, before you become a Doc Holliday, where were you? And so you have to have that same mindset and say, look, this is what I'm going to be able to do. This is what I have to do to stay focused. And for those who are trying to go to the NFL, NBA, or whatever it may be as far as sports, there is a small percentage of those that do make it. And even if you do make it, you know, if you play 6 years, you play 10 years, if you look at it, you're around 29 to 30. You still have your whole life in front of you. That's why I say we have to have that balance with academics and also have that balance with sports. And we have to keep that, and we have to become good teammates. We have to be good people, because I think the teammates that I met and I made when I was in college and in the pros, I think it stayed there, and we're good friends, and I think we have to be able to do that.
My man, Russell Copeland, joining me. My God, thank you so much, man. Great
thank
words
you, Doc.
From the NFL veteran, the Memphis Tiger legend, the Tupelo, the Upelo legend. My God, Russell Copeland, thanks again, my man.
Thanks.
Our Delta Tech Player of the Week, we go back to Houston, and we go back to TJ Madlock. Had 28 points for the Mustangs in their win over Melrose, son of Memphis Tigers assistant coach Tony Madlock. Also on that Houston roster is Mason Miller, son of Mike Miller. It's essentially just a pipeline. Anyway, that'll do it for us. Happy holidays. Join us next week for another edition of Sonic High School Sports Blast. For everyone here at CW30, thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.
Happy.
Thanks for watching the Sonic High School Sports Blast. This week's show was sponsored by Sonic. By SKB Facilities and Maintenance. We take pride in our work. You'll take pride in our results. All American Sports, your team sports headquarters. By Delta Technical College, hands-on, take off. And by A Step Ahead.